A drink, vape, phone.
Exactly.
Is everybody steady, ready, Freddy?
Yeah.
He's our hidden cameraman for the day.
Just say random shit and I'll answer.
All right, y'all. So, okay, I caught this because I slipped past her too. This is episode 35. I said 35 last episode. This is episode 35. I realized that when I was editing. Because I was sitting there editing, right? And I was like looking at everything and I was like, I see episode 32 is still, like 33 is still saved. Where's 34? If we're on 35. Like it didn't exist. And so I pulled up YouTube. It doesn't exist because we didn't do it yet. Yeah, that was, so it threw me off.
35.2.
This is 35. But you got me, you got Squishy, and then camera flop, boom. Got mommy Sempi herself. I'm gonna go see her next month. I'm so excited.
Yay!
How much do I get paid for this?
Oh, I should definitely.
You get paid in a crisp high
Adjust
five and
myself.
some pocket lint.
I'm gonna sit up. That was bad.
Chris high five and some pocket lint. God.
But, so, okay. I technically found 3 stories, but that's because one is really short. And I mean, like, sentences short, but it cracked me up. So you guys need to learn about it, okay? So I tried to deter a theme for these, kind of, sort of, for the ones that I found along the lines of, like, friendships or siblings or just, like, closeness, I guess, amongst, like, people.
Didn't. Oh, shit.
I didn't message you about a theme in retrospect. I just thought it would be fun, but I also, like...
There's a theme? There's a theme.
Sometimes there's a theme.
Did it start?
Sometimes, not all
If
the
I
time,
can
though.
scoot up in my chair and, like, not deter backwards. Anyway. Also...
Oh, wait, I gotta do my weekly routine.
It's a good luck charm. No, hi, Dad.
Yeah. Hi, Dad.
But I do want to say as a quick little tidbit, for obviously those who are watching right now on Twitch, and to those who are going to be seeing this on Monday on YouTube and Spotify, if you do go over to Twitch, the entire month of May, I'm doing a charity live stream. It's not, yes, there will be set days every Wednesday, but any stream I do the month of May will have that charity active. We're trying to raise $2,000 for the Lupus Research Foundation. In my server, I go more into depth with that. It's just, as a TLDR, it is an autoimmune disease that we unfortunately have. It sucks. There's no cure. So we're raising money for the foundation to research and find the cure so we don't have to deal with it anymore. Because I miss regular bread. Anyway.
Yay, bread.
Yeah, but I want top ramen. I miss shitty, cheap, top fucking ramen. Cup of noodles.
Yeah, girl. I'll eat it for you. How about that?
I love watching the
it would
latency
not
on
happen.
stream.
It would not.
So,
Right,
for
but something
instance,
worth
right,
it.
I got her stream up so like I can keep an eye on chat if she's reading or something like that, and also because stream points because of the SMP
Yay,
that
stream
she's
points.
a part of. Because I have to help go to war. Apparently.
Also, another plug-in here over.
Does it work though? Do you get the points if we're muted? If we've muted the stream? Because I'm looking at it too, so I just wanted to make sure.
As long as you are viewing, it's like an every minute thing. But so another little tidbit to those watching: if you enjoy Minecraft, you want to be a part of a colony with me. You know, you want to start a kingdom, overthrow the government type shit, respectfully overthrowing the government. I am now a part of the Thunderdeep SMP Minecraft server created by Alex and her friends, and if you guys gain 5,000 channel points, I can whitelist you in, and we can raise a kingdom together. And we've already started a war with Wim, because Wim has her fiance, but she's gonna be joining my side, and we're gonna lock her in a tower like a trapped princess until we get him.
I wasn't aware of that part of the plan.
Oh, you didn't hear that conversation? Oh, that was a whole conversation. We totally talked about it already. Don't worry.
Babe, she's locking me in a tower.
Yeah,
What?
that's fine.
He said that was okay.
You act like we're gonna like
Yeah, it's
take
fine.
bad care of you though. You're gonna get pampered.
Got
That's
all the
fair.
snackies up there. All the snacks you can want, drinks. Not even like
I at least-
I don't even do this.
I at least. Hey, wait, is there magic stuff in that server?
Not that I have found yet.
What'd you say, baby?
I haven't
Yet.
It's
looked
vanilla.
through it.
It's vanilla. As long as I have potion stuff, I'll be fine. I'll be occupied.
We'll give you a little witch tower.
Yippee!
So I'm gonna jump right in with the first story of the night. It'll be the short one, just as like our little warm up. Because I thought it was really funny. So let me blip up here. Okay. So this comes from Am I the Asshole 3 months ago. And it's my girlfriend
crazy.
called me brother while having sex. I, 28 male, and my girlfriend, 29 female, were in the middle of having sex. We were nearing climax when I went to grab her hand.
Oh,
She
no.
quickly clasped it, pulled my arm towards her in the style of a friendly handshake. She brought it in and said, "Hell yeah, brother." I couldn't take it anymore. My erection died, and well, I felt like I just gave one of the boys a good old bring it in pat on the back and go get beers handshake. Had to tell somebody. Thanks, Reddit, for listening to my misery. That's like 3 sentences, and it cracked me up so much.
Hell yeah. I like that she said hell yeah, brother. You know what? Let the girls have their moments. I mean, for real. I think it's great. Oh. I
Would
feel
you
like
be
this is a
okay if you
question
did that
for
to
my
Jaren?
man. I don't know. That's I feel like should I
No,
text him
okay.
and ask him? Should I
Literally. Okay, hold on. Babe, how would you feel if I took you by the hand, like in a handshake, brought you in, patted you on the back, and what was it?
Hell yeah, brother.
And said, "Hell yeah, brother." There's so
dying.
much I could do. To be fair, he has patted me on the back after intimate hugging time and said, "Attaboy, champ."
I would cry.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Wait, this was before? This was before they were doing
This was-
the intimate hugging?
No, this was like as they were about to finish. This man was about to like
No.
be dunsies, and she did hell yeah,
No.
brother, and he couldn't finish after that.
All right, her timing was bad. Okay, her timing was bad, but I feel like if she would have done it after, it would have been like even better. Like you're supposed to do that shit after, like the attaboys.
I think what's funny to me is it's
My
like
cheeks hurt.
the title had me scared because I thought it would be something different that we
Right.
were gonna be like, oh dear, this is a lot to unpack. With the fact that she was just like, I'm gonna fuck with this man. I'm gonna wait until he's right
Wait,
there and be
please.
like, hell yeah, brother.
You know what? Actually, he was right there, and then like he didn't get to do it because like he felt weird. But you know what? How many times does that happen to a woman? Okay,
He got
Where
accidentally
you're
cucked.
like-
I just want to know if she did it in the accent. Like, did she say it normally, you know, like while they're
Or did
catching
she
their
say,
breath and being like,
"Hell
hell
yeah"?
yeah, brother? Or did she, you have to do the accent.
She definitely did it. I hope she did.
You can't
I'm
you
proud
can't
of her.
not do the accent. That's the whole fucking part of it though.
Oh, I love it so much. But yeah, that was my warm up for tonight. I just had to read that with y'all. It was funny as fuck. And you know-
I'm texting my man right now, and I'm asking him. We might get it might be a little short pause, but I'll let you know what his answer is.
Awesome. And that'll bring
So-
us to your story.
Okay, you guys get a choice. You both get a choice because these are both equally as bad.
Oh no.
So there's a not safe for work one, and then there's a pretty bad one.
Would you like the titles?
Oh, for sure.
So the pretty bad one is my husband's childhood friend asked me to do a favor, then humiliated me in front of her family. I'm done being the bigger person. This is from True Off My Chest. And then the other one is my ex-fiance injured me by attempting butt stuff without preparation or consent. My confession is that I am so embarrassed to tell people what happened, plus 2-year update.
Ooh.
I say we stay on track of sex.
Yeah.
Theme.
I'm getting a thumbs up in the back.
Theme.
Yeah.
All right, so both of these were actually from True Off My Chest.
There is a trigger warning per usual with the stories that I get.
The trigger warnings are the R word and SA.
Ah.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
That's how bad that is.
This is about to be bad. Get ready.
The original post was from September 12th, 2022, so this is a couple of years ago. So they were having some intimate cuddle time, and he was behind her. He claims he missed, and he used that exact word, and got me in the butt twice. No lube, no preparation, and I had not consented to butt stuff. Am I allowed to say anal on Twitch?
I think so.
As long as
I'm saying anal.
the Twitch things, as long as it's like not making fun of anybody's like sexual orientation, they're usually pretty
I'm
lenient.
saying anal.
Yeah.
Okay, so he had been bugging me to do it, but I always said no. The pain was so bad that I fainted on the second time in. I ended up bleeding and with a huge bruise on my face from where I smacked the headboard when I fainted. I had to be admitted to the hospital because of the bruise on my face. Everyone thought I ended up in the hospital because he hit me. I have said that this isn't what happened, but that just made everyone think I was covering for him, even though I broke up with him. I'm so embarrassed to tell everyone what really happened, especially my parents and grandparents, but everyone else too. It was embarrassing enough with the medics, doctors, and nurses, and all the exams, and now having to watch what I eat and take stool softening pills for the next bit. Or that it hurts me to sit. I wish everyone would drop it and move on, and they all want to know the real story, which I am too embarrassed to tell. So that's the first part of it.
Okay.
Fainted.
She said
Yeah,
the
that's-
pain was too much.
I
You do need prep work.
Yeah, and that you do need prep work, and when it does, I'm not gonna say that he did accidentally slip, but it does happen. I've had it happen before, occasionally. Okay, and once it does that, I think it had recently happened a few months ago, and I was like over toppled in pain. Like that shit is just like if it's like accidentally slip action and it's and you're like, oh, it's so much. It's yeah, and for it to happen twice, that's a little that's
So
crazy.
was the second time an accident, or was the second time he was like, we should try this, and I'm just gonna do it?
He said he missed both times.
Okay. If we take that at face value, he's not that shitty of a person, because we're all in straight relationships. It does happen.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't. It definitely happens. It's dark. You can't see. Shit happens. Like,
You know, end up accidentally going bowling.
yeah, it's not fun. I'm telling you.
But I'm
I'm
trying.
single.
Like, don't get me wrong, I do feel bad for her right now. Like, that it's a shitty thing to go through. It hurts, and it sucks that you're embarrassed, and people are gonna ask like, why is this, and you have to make it a bit more of a different lie because you don't want to get into the details of that.
No, my ass would be telling the details.
I'm trying to think, because you said there's an update, and with the trigger warnings that are in this, I'm curious to find out if like him saying it slipped was an accident, or like if it was truly an accident, or if he was lying the entire time.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm choosing words very carefully here, because at face value, as
Yeah.
of this post, he's not bad. If it happened on accident, that sucks, but as long as, you say, I am so sorry, we will be more careful next time, you're not a shitty person. But with the trigger warnings that are in this, and the update to come, I'm really fucking scared to say anything else.
Yeah, well,
Are you ready for the
get to
update?
the update. Let's get right into it.
April 20th, 2025, 2.5 years later.
So, I broke up with my fiance because we had a huge fight at the hospital because he blamed me for what happened. But I was still so ashamed that I didn't tell my family or anyone else the true story about what happened. I only told the hospital staff. Waking up in the hospital was scary, but hospital staff, the police, and the social workers were so kind. Even when I posted here the first time, I was still in denial about what happened. Due to my injuries at the hospital, their hospital automatically notified police. The police treated it as domestic violence. Lots of the time I read online on here about people deciding to press charges, but I found out about a myth. 1, only police can charge someone, and 2, if there is domestic violence situation, the police do not ask the questions or the opinion of the victim, since the victim will often cover for the abuser and try to have the charges dropped. I was not giving any choice in him being charged. My ex-fiance was arrested and he faced 2 charges over what he did to me, separately from what he was charged for lying to the police. He was put on a no contact order for me, and when he got arrested, he was given bail at first. His bail got canceled after a few months, and it was standard condition for everyone on bail to give their passport to the police. He had told police that he didn't have a passport, and then they found out he had plane tickets for a relative's wedding over in the United States, which required a passport since it is international travel. He thought it wasn't a big deal because he bought a return ticket too, but since he was not allowed to leave the country, he had told the police he didn't have a passport when he was asked to surrender it. His bail was canceled. He received a 4th charge over the passport incident. I haven't seen him since we broke up, except for when I testified in court. The police and the social worker kept me up to date about his bail and everything else. I have not had any contact from him since our argument in the hospital. He was convicted on all charges he faced, so he has a criminal record and is also a sex offender. I won't lie about how testifying in court was the worst day of my life besides the night he hurt me. I wasn't sure I wanted to testify, but I was legally required to do at the end of the day. I faced this. Our neighbors called for an ambulance because of the commotion, so a lot of people on our street saw me naked. I saw one of my neighbors at court. It was really humiliating to have to talk about everything in front of so many strangers, but I'm doing so much better now. I'm enrolled in university and I have started making friends. I've been seeing a counselor since I was released from the hospital. Most of the time, I'm not embarrassed that my family and friends know what happened to me. That's it.
So it wasn't an accident.
It definitely wasn't an accident. If it was that bad, where they can say, hey, they looked at your body anatomy and, like, what happened, like, doctor-wise, that wasn't an accident. I can tell you right now. Because that means he went in and then, like, kept going. And I feel like that's what happened. And there's a definite difference of feeling. I'm not a man, but I've been told there's a definite, so it's like, he knew. At this point, shit. God damn. Fuck.
I'm just glad that he got, like, convicted. Like, I'm glad that, like, legal repercussions actually succeeded, because I think, unfortunately, a lot of the times, they don't get much.
There's a cat on the back of my chair.
Oh. But fuck that guy.
What are you doing?
And, he can sit on a cactus and spin. Because anything to
sitting
do
on
with
some sort of
your
cactus in
partner,
jail.
like, consent is the number one priority. Consent and communication are, like, the 2 priorities that you need. Especially with, like, I'm trying to, like, think of better wording. I don't know. This shit just pisses me off. Don't do that. It's not that important. Like, people go to such extremes because they're like, I want this explicit thing, and it's like, you don't fucking need it. But fuck that guy. He can rot.
For real.
That pissed me off.
We're almost at 1,000 stream points, Boogie.
Let's go! Has your man's also responded to your question?
No, not yet. He's with his brother right now, so it'll be a while.
We wait.
We wait, and now we wait. Look, we're not the best at like answering right away, either of us. So
It's all right. Let's see here. While that guy rots in his fucking cell forever, I have a third story for you guys. So,
Alrighty.
you know what? Fuck it. Staying on the topic of relationships,
here we go.
this comes from who? So this was originally posted in r/relationship advice and then was sub-posted into best of Redditor updates. My 25 female best friend, 24 male, proposed to me. I'm confused and mortified. Where do we go from here? All right, so let's see here. This was originally posted March 28th of last year. Frankly, I'm still in shock this happened, so this might be all over the place, but bear with me. All fake names, etc., etc. Jordan and I met in university 2 years ago. We both started at the same time, and because of our ages, we both were considered mature students. So we quickly became firm friends as we shared a dorm, and we joke around together about us being old enough to be considered mature in our early 20s. We weren't on the same course, but given we lived together, we would hang out pretty much all the time whenever we didn't have a lecture. We joined a bunch of societies together, went drinking every weekend together, etc., etc. It was a pretty sweet gig because it meant we were at least never alone. Obviously, we made other friends, both alone and together, but we were always each other's number one at the end of the day. At the moment, we're on spring holidays for Easter, and while we haven't hung out constantly, we decided to make plans to visit each other's hometowns. So, because we're from very starkly different places, today we went to mine, and mine is Big City Central. This morning we went there and we were wandering down the streets doing some sightseeing because he's never been. There's typically a lot of street sellers here trying to sell you everything from hot dogs to fluffy Pokemon hats. I decided I want to get a caricaturer, the goofy drawings. Christ, too many C's. Done. I never had one, and I thought it would be funny to get and hang over my bed when we got back for term. I asked Jordan if he wanted to get in, he refused. No worries, so I sat down to get it done. They didn't take very long, 5 to 10-ish minutes, so I stayed and looked straight forward at the artist the entire time. He finished the character. I loved it, so obviously I turned to properly showed Jordan. When I turned, though, I literally don't even know what to say. He's down on one knee holding up a ring box. I don't even know what he said, if he did like the whole proposal speech thing, because I was just confused. I was barely paying attention. Remember, again, this is a busy tourist city, so this has drawn a mini crowd now coming over to cheer us on. I couldn't help but burst into laughter, to be honest. I thought this was some kind of like odd prank thing. We've never been prankster types or whatever, but I couldn't come up with a reasonable explanation, so I just laughed and laughed and laughed. Until I look at Jordan and he's genuinely heartbroken. So obviously, I asked him something along the lines of, "You're not being serious?" This is the only thing I remember saying to him. He shut the box, stood up, shrugged, and said, "I guess not anymore," and walked off. This left me standing pretty awkwardly in this gathered crowd of people, a lot of who were giving me dirty looks, which made me incredibly uncomfortable. The plan was to meet up at a hotel that we had booked rooms next door to one another, so I figured that's where he was going and to head back that way. He's not there, so I wait and I wait. He doesn't return. I text him out of concern. This was at 1:15 p.m., currently at 6:20 as I'm writing this, just asking if he's okay. He responds with a long message back, which I would post because it's an odd read, but I won't out of respect for his privacy. But he basically accuses me of leading him on and asking why I didn't break up with him sooner, saying I had publicly humiliated him and that he thought I loved him the same way and that he felt our relationship was strong enough to consider taking the next step. Now this is completely out of left field. I literally have got no idea in the world where he got this idea from. The closest we've ever been physically is a hug, hello, and goodbye. I've never even jokingly flirted with him for exactly this reason, as I've had too many friendships collapse because they can't tell the difference between serious, interesting, and joking banter in friendships. So I've been extra careful not to. We've never kissed. We've never been on a date. Never had sex. I do not find him physically attractive, and I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with him. I don't understand where on earth he got this idea that we were. This is something that he's never brought up before this, so I'm genuinely bewildered. He hasn't returned to the hotel yet. I periodically knock to check. I've been listening out for him walking through the hallway or anything. Nothing. I haven't responded to his long paragraph because honestly, I don't know how to. I'm just so stunned and taken aback that I genuinely have no idea where to go from here or what to do. I haven't told anyone I know in person yet, mostly because I don't want to bring this up to people who know him, so here I am turning to strangers on Reddit instead. What in the world do I do? TLDR, my best friend of 2 years seems to think we're in a relationship and decided to publicly propose, and I have no idea what to do.
Is that it?
Yep, that's the first part.
The first part. Well, I think it's wild that he proposed and they're just friends.
I don't know
Like,
how he thinks they're in a
does that?
relationship. You're not even like holding
But not
hands or
even-
cuddling or kissing. Like,
No, he was like, but this is the one. She's the one. Pop the question. I mean, bravery on his part. Like, unless he's like delusional as fuck. That's the
That's
only thing I can think of is
Delulu
he's being delusional. Yeah, he's in Delulu land, and I love being. Look, I love being delusional. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not.
Friendship
that.
marriage. Friendship marriage.
I mean, they do happen, but clearly she was caught off guard, and it was just like, "What are you doing?" I want to know what was going through this man's mind. Like,
dude, I think that's just so
period.
fucking insane. Like, because obviously, so I do understand that there are relationships formed through people having romantic interest and talking, and you never really know when the dating officially starts. You just kind of keep going with it. And I mean, I can take me and Rosie, for example. We both had to sit down and be like, are we dating? Or because quite literally, we were falling asleep in a sleep call. And I was delusional and EP so sleepy. And he said, something. Well, yeah, my girlfriend. And I went, yeah. And I rolled over and conked the fuck out. And the next day I woke up and I went, he said girlfriend. And I had to call him and I went, what are we?
what are we? Wait a minute. No.
But I think for most people, like, there's a conversation had at least to a minimum of like, hey, we're showing romantic interest. How are you guys friends for 2 years? You booked hotels in completely different rooms, and that's when you're like, I'm gonna propose. Our relationship's so serious. You don't even sleep in the same bed together.
I mean, I
You don't
had
even
the serious
physically
conversation.
touch that much. Like,
No,
what?
they don't. They hugged. They've hugged. They've never kissed. They've never done anything. They've hugged. And he was like, yeah, that's my
And, like,
woman.
Lack of pet names,
Like-
I guess to say too. You never looked at each other and went, oh, baby, babe. Like,
Pookie. All those good ones.
you failed. You missed every step. You went from meet person. You skipped every other
No.
phase. Meet person, marriage.
No.
Yes.
That's a good one. Oh,
That
I've
is a
been
good
calling
one.
Lately, quite lately, he's been calling me his queen, and I'm like, yeah, call me
Dude,
queen.
I love the fuck out of pet names.
I don't like getting called that. That one's on the no shit list.
You don't want to be passenger princess or princess at all.
Okay, so passenger princess is different. I'm fine with being called passenger princess, but if Mason comes up to me and is just like, hi, my baby, my princess, I love you so much, I'm gonna be like, fuck you, get the fuck out.
But that's just you. I'd
What?
be all giddy, but like I'm just
I was
like a
like, I
giddy,
mean-
lovey girl.
What did you say? Noted.
I think if it's said
Don't
lovingly
call you
enough,
that.
depending, I will take it.
No.
Except for that one. That one I'm
That
probably
one's a
gonna look
no-no.
at you. But listen, no, I'm like, if I'm delusional enough, you know, I'm almost certain that Rosie could walk up and be like, "Oh, my little trash rat," and I'd be like, "He said mine." Like,
Exactly. It has nothing to do with it as long as it's my.
See,
It was my anything.
So I know you know this, but like Mason calls me darling a lot.
Oh, that's
Well,
cute.
sometimes, not much,
Aw.
but sometimes,
Aw.
like when he feels like super lovey or if he's like super happy about something, that
Thanks, Ann.
gets me to fold. I will quite literally, no shot, he'll text me darling and I'll just be like, oh god.
No. You can tell when Jaren's being like super serious. He's like, he calls me sweetheart all the time because he says I'm the sweetest little thing. I'm like, like giddy giddy giddy.
oh, we love
we
pet
all-
names.
We all have those pet names that like we definitely fold for 100%. And then you have the pet names like the one that one said like 2 minutes ago that we just don't. No.
Yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
Dude, I think,
No.
and it does come down to like who says it, but that's a different side topic. Would you guys like the update?
I would
Yes.
love the update.
Please, before we get on the topic of pet names.
No.
That's wrong.
Okay,
Oh, no,
so I'm gonna
sepsis.
skip through some of the relevant comments.
I'm stuck.
So just kind of like, okay, so somebody said, I assume you've never dated / hooked up with anyone during your friendship with him. OP said he's Catholic, but he's non-practicing. He believes in God and the Bible and such, but he doesn't go to church as far as I know. He isn't very strict in his beliefs.
Oh, he's that
I've had
type of
hookups, but no
Catholic.
relationships.
He
He
thought he was
hasn't had
cornier.
any relationships, but I'm not sure about hookups. We don't talk about
Pretty
sex with each other, to be honest, outside of the occasional, he's fit, I would, while people watching. So, I'm trying to think. Okay. Anyway, the update comes the next day. And she said, hey, I'm not dead. Back at my parents' house at the moment. I'll be staying here until school picks back up in a bit instead of traveling around. It's nice to be home anyways. So, I'm going to skip the TLDR update. Jordan did not come back to the hotel. I stayed up till 1 a.m. before falling asleep and he didn't return. When I woke up the next day, the hotel staff let me know he had checked himself out before at about 6 a.m. I did not end up responding to his long text. I took everyone's advice and told him... Oh, no, I did end up responding. I took everyone's advice and told him that I was sorry it didn't go as he had expected, but I wasn't sure where he got the impression where we were together. I said I'd be happy to sit and have a discussion about it so we can actually make sure we're on the same page. He was not happy about this at all. He again went off with a bunch of the same type of thing that he said in his first message. It didn't really seem to be going through his head at all. Even with these new texts, he kept referring to all of this as me breaking up with him, despite me explicitly telling him we are not and never have been together. Again, all of his messages were very clear and coherent, even though what he was saying was not based in reality at all. He wasn't sending paragraphs, just sentences in really quick succession, which was blowing my phone up. He told me he didn't want to meet up with me to talk because I had ripped his heart out and crushed it in public. I did ask him for specific instances that he could recall between us that made him think we were dating, but he completely ignored the question and just kept going on and on about how hurt he was and how I was breaking up with him and how he felt his world was ending. He said he loved me more than anything and had felt so confident that I had too, which is why he felt certain about proposing to move our relationship along. Eventually, to be honest, I grew pretty tired of the conversation and stopped responding, because it was just going around in circles. Me asking where he got his idea, him ignoring and telling me how hurt he is that I broke up with him over this, etc. He went on and on saying that he thought it would be a ring I like because it was my favorite gem, ruby instead of diamond. It's got me wondering how much he actually spent on the damn thing. I didn't look very clearly at the ring, so I couldn't tell if it was something super expensive or not. And that he had been working up the courage to do so for a while and figured out doing it while I was at home would make it more special. For a while, he was just talking to himself in my text because I wasn't responding anymore. When I checked back about 20 minutes later, I had like 60-something messages from him. Granted, they were all one sentence. At the end, he apologized and told me that it didn't matter anyway because I wouldn't see him around anymore. Obviously, I was concerned, so I asked for clarification, and he said that he was going to drop out of the university, go back home, and because he couldn't deal with the shame. That's where our conversation ended. Don't really know how to respond for that. As it stands now, I don't really know where he is. I didn't ask him, which is my bad, and I'm sure if and when we will talk again, I will ask. I'm sorry this is a quite boring update. Unfortunately, I can't excite everyone with a, and then he turned up at my door and sent me flowers or whatever. I feel like a lot is unanswered. Still don't know where he got the idea. We are saying from he hasn't explained that. I'm sorry I can't give anyone that answer. A little short update to said update. A lot of people said I should ask our mutual friends if he's ever brought this up before, ever suggested we are dating, etc. All of the people I have asked, granted it was only 5, said that they've got no clue. He's never mentioned it before now. I don't know if this is something that he's newly started thinking, if it's something long term. Either way, in addition, I've also screenshotted all of his texts just in case. Reading back on them with slight less confused mindset, they read pretty manic. Still haven't heard from his mom just yet.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
my god, I found another update.
Oh my god! Yay!
Jesus.
For that third story.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Just gonna
What's the
keep going.
update?
I didn't realize this had another update. Okay. So this comes April 6th. So now there's actually a bigger gap. Now, hey, it's me again. Still doing okay and hoping this will be the last update I need to make. Granted, I thought the last one would be the last. I did say I wasn't going to make another update unless something significant happened, and that's why it's been a week. So sorry for silence. Jordan's mom did message me back on Facebook that same day. We had a chat for a while. She's a really nice lady. Excuse me. She agreed that this was incredibly out of character for Jordan, and in fact, she mentioned a few other things that she had noticed as being off about him in the last few weeks. Nothing crazy, just things here and there that she'd never known him to do or say. I spoke with her at length about Jordan's mental health and potential psychosis. She told me that there is a history of mental illness on her dad's side, including a paternal uncle's control-alt-deleting of himself, that she doesn't know all that much about it because they've not spoken to one another in quite a long time. Our conversation lasted about an hour. I showed her Jordan's texts, etc. She agreed they all sounded quite manic, regardless of how coherent they were. A lot of people also asked if he told our mutual friends and acquaintances that we were dating. I did message our mutual friends, our dorm mates, etc. They all basically said they have no idea what I'm talking about, so it seems he's sort of just been having these thoughts by himself without expressing them. I don't know how to get in contact with his close friends that we don't share, so I can't really ask them. Anyway, for a few days, that it was until yesterday evening, which is where the big and positive, depending on how you see it, update comes. I got word from Jordan's mom that he had been detained under Section 136 by the police. For anyone not from the UK, or who, like me, doesn't know what that is, from what I can tell, it basically means he was suffering from an obvious mental health disorder in public with behavior concerning enough that they're a danger to themselves or others, and the police think they need to immediate and urgent care. What I know from here is pretty minimal. I'm not sure where he was taken to, but his mom said that he would be there for a day while they perform mental health assessments, so I assume that's what they're doing today. She said that essentially he had been out in the streets yelling about things, she didn't specify what, and intimidating other people on the street. He was throwing things around and generally just causing a lot of issue. Police got called because people thought he was drunk. They established he wasn't. Not sure if just from how he was acting or breathalyzer. I honestly don't really know how that works, but that's all I know. His mom and I had a chat, and we sort of assumed that the mental health psychosis is likely right. The rejection of the proposal probably sent him into a spiral of getting worse in the last few days, bringing us to where we are right now. I do feel pretty awful about that. I'm doing my best to not blame myself, but it's hard to not feel like I caused it. Either way, he is currently with police and the mental health professionals, likely being assessed. I don't know how the system works, not sure what'll happen beyond this point. If someone with more knowledge wants to chime in, please do. I'm hopeful that this will mean that he will be able to get some help for whatever he is currently dealing with. My hope is therefore I don't need to update again. I have yet to speak to the university about the situation, not really sure how to or if I should approach that, so I'll be leaving it for now. This has been a whole lot of emotions, and I really appreciate the help of everyone on my last 2 posts. Won't update again unless something major happens. Highly doubt it. Thanks again for following, and it's been really reassuring to have this support from the people, with people who are way more understanding than I am to have helped me. And that is it.
Bad for him.
Hi,
I just feel
Silver.
bad for him just for the simple fact
Papa.
that, like, I don't know, like, the homie was going through some stuff mentally. It sucks for her, and she's not wrong in any way for how she handled any of this. I feel like she handled it really well. And yeah, clearly the homie's got some mental issues, and that sucks, because, like, when you have no control over those, like, thoughts and feelings and stuff, I mean, I can't relate because I've never been there, but, like, obviously it's a tough thing to go through, so I feel bad for him, but at the same time, like, crazy. He's crazy. He's crazy.
I'm kind of wondering, so this is just something I've learned from, like, past Reddit posts. If it's not so much a mental illness as it is something physically going on with the body. And the 2 concerns I would have is a tumor that is pushing against something it shouldn't, causing you to have different thinking, or your B12 levels. Because if your B12 vitamin is deficient to a point, it does alter your personality and your behaviors, and they can appear as erratic or irrational or angry, and it's all based on a fucking vitamin. And I'm hoping that, like,
that makes sense.
with a mental assessment, they will also do, like, a physical scan of his fucking body and be like, all right, inside and out, we need to figure out what's wrong. Because this is non-normal.
Yeah. And clearly, yeah, like she said, it clicked from when he did that. And, like, for his mom, as a mother, like, you know your child. Like, you know them inside out, and, like, you know how they act. You've seen them grow. Like, you've done all that. For her to be like, he has never acted this way, like, ever in his life, that's where it gets concerning. So, and yes, we don't tell our parents everything, but we notice. As a mom, we know things.
I am glad
like,
OP reached out to the mom and was like, hey, has he done something like this before? And she was like, that's not normal, but I've also noticed he's been doing weird things.
It also brings up the fact when he proposed, she had never met his parents. Never met his parents. So that's off too. Like, if you haven't met someone's parents yet, and I mean, I can understand, like, with distance and long distance and stuff like that, with, like, things like that, but, like, as me, and even though we're long distance, we're only like an hour and 45, I've met both of his parents already. That would be like me never meeting his parents and us not being, like, physically romantic, and then him being like, hey, marry me. Like, that's weird. You have to, like, be together, get to know each other, you know, meet the family. I met the family, I met his mom, like, 2 weeks. We weren't even technically dating when I met his mom, and I was, like, the first girl he ever brought around. She was like, nice to meet you, you're the only girl I've ever met, and, like, that was it. But now I, like, love his mom. I'm basically family, and then I met his, when we were officially together a couple of times, I finally met his dad, but she was closer, so that made sense. But like I said, if you don't meet someone's parents before, like, that, how do you know they're the one? Like, that's...
Yeah, because it's like, even with me and Rosie, you know, like, when we started dating, he came and visited me, so he got to meet my family then. But even in terms of the engagement, he called my dad.
Yeah.
And, like, my dad knew the drill.
Intimate thing, especially as, like, a woman, like, the respect thing has to come, like, even though like I'm technically he's my stepdad, he is my dad, he's raised me since I was 4. Like I would expect Jaren, because they have a relationship now, like they know each other, like I would expect him to like reach out beforehand and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, can I do this? I do like the old schoolness of like asking permission. I think it's cute, I think it's meaningful, and like I don't know, to like bring one's family, it's like bringing your own family together basically. So without them knowing each other's family, it's, to me, that's like, and then obviously with his mom being like, yeah, this is weird, like I don't even know you.
I'll say, like, I told
Mason, who didn't ask my dad like whatsoever.
Yeah, but like
in
that
retrospect,
also depends on you. Yeah,
That's fair.
It depends on
I was talking about how you
depends
didn't
on
ask
your
my dad.
relationship with it depends on your relationship with your family, and like that would be like Darren going to my dead dad, but he doesn't.
He's met
dead,
my
so.
dad, he's met my grandfather and like all of them and stuff. He's met some of my family, and he's met some of the family that haven't seen me since I was a baby.
Yeah. Well, that's meaningful. It's
But
still
like
meaningful.
I can guarantee you, if he were to ask someone like in that like area, he would have asked my grandfather instead of my dad.
Yeah. Yeah, which is like, as long as it's like a male figure that you're close with and like, you know, that you look up to, and like somebody who took care of you, like, as not to be like really feminine and like, oh my god, but like that's who you, like, as a girl, like you always need like the daddy figure in your family, right? Like we
I've
need
told
that.
my grandfather
Yeah.
he treated me more like his kid than my dad has.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say,
it is what it is in the situation.
I'm traditional in that sense. I told him you were not allowed to ever propose to me until you talk to my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, me and my dad have always had that thing too growing up, that he was like, would you make sure they come to me first? And I was like, yeah, got you, bro. We're solid. And so when he called my dad, from what I have understood from that phone call, is basically like he called him up and my dad pinged it pretty quick and he was like, you don't call me. Me and you know, we don't talk regularly. I know why you're calling.
We're quiet. We're quiet. And I know Rosie. Rosie's a quiet person, okay? Very quiet man, okay? He don't talk for shit, so it was serious.
Yeah, the second he was like, why are you calling?
So proud of my son. So proud. Attaboy. Attaboy.
Oh my lord. I do hope the guy gets whatever help he needs, whether that is medical or mental. And I'm glad that, like, from this, it seems like everybody's walking away safe because he's getting assessed, she's safe and just getting her shit back on track. The mom's just trying to be like, my baby boy, what the fuck? What are you doing? But you know, it's all about family, and that'll lead us to Squishy's story of the night, which will probably end up being our last one, because I did not realize that has so many fucking updates.
Hey, I got time.
That's fair.
Alright, so this is my husband's childhood best friend asked me for a favor and humiliated me in front of her family. I'm done being the bigger person. This is originally off of True Off My Chest. There is a trigger warning of obsessive behavior and verbal abuse.
Quite likely, you always have trigger warnings.
I always find the ones with trigger warnings. I'm like,
Oh, all of mine have them. I just don't read the trigger warnings. Unless they're, like, severe, I don't touch them.
Like, I do it just in case, just due to the fact of, like, even if we do ask if there's a topic that, like, they don't want to talk about, what's going to happen within the time span of, like, when we talk to them and when we do podcasts.
That's valid. That's a fair take.
So,
Valid. Very valid.
I say I'm just in case, and so Twitch doesn't fucking kiss my ass. Anyways. This was from April 22nd of this year, so this is still very fresh.
Ooh.
I've been sitting on this for a few days, trying to decide if I'm just being dramatic or if I've been letting too much slide for too long. So I, 30 female, have been happily married for a few years now. My husband, 31 male, is honestly a gem. Kind, patient, hilarious, loyal, basically everything you'd ever want. Which, after having an ex cheat on me with his best friend, is kind of a big deal.
Yeah,
That relationship, yeah.
relatable.
That relationship wrecked me for a while, but I worked hard not to drag the wreckage into something new. And my husband, and thankfully, my husband's never given me a single reason to question him until now. Maybe, I don't know. My husband and I have a great relationship. We're pretty social and often hang out with each other's friends. I get along with almost all of his group, and they've honestly made me feel welcome, except for her. His childhood best friend. Let's call her Claire. That's such a white bitch name.
Claire.
Claire. Claire.
Okay.
Dear God, I need a drink for that one.
Claire has always been cool to me, not outright rude, but just subtle enough to make me feel crazy for noticing. You know the kind of vibe every time when you've been in the same room, she's managed to talk around me, not to me. I tried, I really did. I smiled, made conversation, but nothing warm, even when she's giving me nothing to work with. She doesn't show up to group hangouts, but she'll invite him over, and he always tells me, to his credit, he never goes without mentioning it, and he's never weird or secretive about her, but it still rubs me the wrong way. Tried being friendly, I've tried the small talk, hell, I've invited her to our birthdays, barbecues, engagement dinner, she bailed on all. She skipped our wedding too, and she only ever seems to reach out to him, usually when she's just been dumped and needs to talk. But quote unquote talk.
Talk, quote unquote. I don't like her. I don't like her already. She is not a girl's girl.
This is girly pop time now. Everyone cross your legs. Get ready.
Girly pop time. Thank you over in Twitch. I heard that noise, by the way.
When I've brought it up, my husband says I'm overthinking it, that Claire just needs Claire is just a little odd socially, and maybe she is.
No.
And a few weeks ago, out of nowhere, she messaged me, asked if I could model for her project. Totally unexpected, and I was cut off guard enough to say yes. Part of me thought maybe this is her trying to connect, maybe this was her olive branch, and I even felt a little hopeful. God, I was naive. So I agreed. My husband offered to come with me since he hadn't seen her in a while and thought it'd be fun to catch up after. When we got there, her family was also involved, and from the second I walked in, it was like stepping into some passive-aggressive Twilight Zone. Her mom and sister kept calling my husband our son-in-law. I laugh awkwardly, think I might have misheard. It only got worse. During the shoot came more of the snarky comments, jokes about the one that got away, and some bonds never fade. Her mom at one point literally said, "We always thought Claire would end up with him, but life has its detours, I guess." Claire always imagined walking down the aisle with him. And then, it's sweet of her to fill in, though.
No. What the fuck? Her family's just as delusional as she fucking is. He needs to cut her off. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off right now. He needs to cut her off.
So,
no more. That's too much.
I wish I was exaggerating. And Claire just kept snapping pictures, smiling, saying nothing. No, hey, cut it out. No awkward laugh. No redirect. Nothing. My husband, clearly uncomfortable. I watched him fidget through the whole thing, clear his throat a few times. He tried to change the subject or came near by me during the shooting. He didn't say much either, just went kind of quiet. I stuck it out for an hour, let her take her photos, smile, post, whatever, but the whole time it felt like I was a part of a social experiment. And everyone else was in on the joke but me. We got in the car, he was silent for a while, then finally said, "Sorry about all that, that was weird, right?" And honestly, I didn't even know what to say, because yeah, it was weird, it was borderline disrespectful, and the fact that he was there, saw all of it, clearly felt it too, and didn't step in or pull the plug, it makes me feel kind of alone in this. I'm just tired of pretending this woman is just as harmless or as awkward. She knows exactly what she's doing. I don't want to start a huge fight, but I'm at the point where I don't want her in our lives. Not as a friend, not as a ghost in the corner of our marriage, no more bending over backwards to be the cool wife. I'm not interested in earning points with someone who clearly doesn't want me around. So that's the first half.
Oh, she's gotta go. Cut her the fuck off.
She's gotta go. And all right, I am mad at the husband. I'm so mad at him. He needs to stick up for his wife. I am sorry. You do not let anyone oh, he's the one that got away. That's when you say, no, bitch. Like, that's my wife. That is my wife there. You do not speak to her like that. You don't even give her that. Like, no. Everything about that is no, and she is very valid, and she honestly blow up on him. I would blow up on him. I would, because I don't care.
Oh no,
like,
absolutely.
Don't let that.
Exactly, and
That's ridiculous.
Because I can tell you right now, if I was out in a social setting with Rosie and like his family, and say there was a chick there that like was the one that got away or whatever, we would leave. We would leave. Instantaneously. Yeah. Like, he would blow up and he'd be like, get in the fucking car, we're gone. We're
leaving. Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't even stayed. Like, that would have been like, the moment they said that, I'm like, okay, good seeing you, bye. Like, I'm not doing this. Like, we're not having this conversation. You don't say this in front of my wife. You don't say this in front of anybody anymore. We are not together. I am not with her. This is never gonna happen. Actually, I shouldn't even be here anymore. Goodbye. Cause like, what the fuck? Like, the fuck? Okay, I'm mad.
That reminds me, side tidbit. I have a story to tell you guys after stream relating to this, but I have to do it off stream because it has personal information.
Yeah. All right. Who am I fighting?
Now I'm interested.
Yeah, no, you'll get it. Give us the update.
Yes, ma'am. So April 23rd, so literally the next day.
Okay.
So for those, first off, holy crap, I didn't expect this post to blow up. Thank you to everyone who commented messages or just made me feel like I wasn't losing my mind. So many of you asked for an update, so here it is. For those who are wondering, no, they have never dated. He had a high school crush on her for over a decade, and that's ancient history. 2, no, I don't think he's ever cheated emotionally or physically. He's always very open and honest, and we have other passwords, or we have each other's passwords to everything. 3, they barely see each other anymore in person, maybe once every few months. We live about 2 hours away. So here's the update. Funny enough, I didn't even get the chance to sit down and talk to my husband before something else happened. I just can't believe my life at the moment. Anyway, I'm still trying to process what happened and sort through my anger towards Claire, and honestly, towards my husband too. That's when I got a message from my sister-in-law. We'll call her Madeline. I'm really close with Madeline. She's also part of a wider social circle than Claire floats around in. They're friendly, but not too close. She sent me a screen recording from Claire's close friend's story with a simple, what the fuck, and it was a clip of me posing during the shoot. No music, but in the background, you can clearly hear Claire's sister say, Claire should have been the one to marry him. I lost it. I waited until my husband got home from work, sat him down, and showed him the video. He watched it once, and then again, his whole face changed. He finally looked pissed. I couldn't help but think why he didn't have that same reaction there. So I laid it all out. I told him everything, every snide comment, every time Claire made me feel small, how I'd always tried to be civil, how I never asked him to choose between us, but I was done being polite with someone constantly disrespecting me. I told him, if this doesn't bother you enough to act, we've got a bigger problem. I'm not going to be in a marriage where I have to beg to be defended. I need a partner who stands up for me, and if that's not you, then I need to rethink this. He didn't argue, didn't get defensive, and I know he feels sorry. Then I showed him the Reddit post. He tried to read every comment. Some of them made him tear up. When he finished, he looked at me and said that he feels like the worst husband. He let this happen right in front of him, and he's so sorry. He asked me, "What do you need from me now?" I told him straight up, this isn't just about her anymore. It's about whether or not you're willing to protect this marriage. But I'm not going to feel like I'm second place in my own relationship, so it's either me or her. So we called Claire. She picked up, all cheerful, acting like nothing had happened. We brought up the video. She immediately got defensive. "Oh, come on, it was just a joke. Are you really mad over that? Seriously?" And that's when he stepped in. Oh, this is when husband steps in.
Thank God. Finally.
This isn't just about the video. It's the constant disrespect towards my wife. I didn't say anything before because I didn't want to lose your friendship, and I convinced myself you didn't mean it. But what happened at that shoot? That was disgusting. My wife came to support you and your family. My wife came to support you, and you and your family treated her like a joke. I didn't speak up then, and I'm ashamed of that. But that ends now. I don't even know why I held on to this friendship for so long. If you can't respect my wife, you don't respect me. She laughed. She literally laughed and said, "Wow, you're really cutting me off over that girl?"
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was ready to fight, but my husband calmed me down and said to Claire, "If choosing between you and my wife ever felt like a hard decision, I wouldn't deserve her. We're not kids anymore. We need to grow up. I simply don't want to be your friend anymore. I have nothing else to say. Telling you, he can be a gem sometimes." But yeah, we blocked her and her entire family. Since then, he's been checking in with me, not trying to fix things, just showing up, listening, understanding. He finally sees what I've been dealing with, and we still got some healing to do, but I now know where he stands, and that changes everything for me.
Woo! We love him. He did it.
Oh, so he turned around.
He turned around. He finally spoke up for himself. I'm so proud. As a man should do for his wife. Let's go, husband.
Oh my God. We just need to, people who, and I think this goes for across the board, both genders, right? If there is somebody that you deem as a friend, right, but they are making your partner uncomfortable, and it's something that you can see that is not just like a simple, easy fix of you guys just don't like each other, and that's okay. Like, this is like a deep-seated fucking jealousy. Like, I'm trying to take them away from you. Both partners, like, if I had a friend who was doing that shit to him, oh no, fuck you, I'm blocking you. I will choose him first.
Same thing.
I don't even think it would matter if it was a friend of like the 3rd grade. You know, we could be in diapers together and be adults now. You disrespect my husband, I will block your ass so fast.
Look, I'm not even at the part where I'm getting married, but if anyone disrespected Jaren in that way, oh my God, I would slit their throats. I'm sorry, that was a little bit much. That I don't even know if I could say that on Twitter.
We would commit heinous war crimes.
War crimes.
I was muted. Heinous war crimes.
I'm going to commit various war crimes.
Nobody talks about my man that way, okay? But I would hope that he would do. Now I'm about to have this conversation with him. Oh shit. Hey, so.
You already asked him about the hey brother. You're gonna go from, hey, can I say hey brother while you're about to finish, to, hey, would you defend me? Would you go to bat for me?
And this girl, and I know exactly who to bring up to, but JK, I think she's married now. JK. Anyways, that's another story to tell.
Oh,
That's after stream.
that's an
shit.
off-stream tea. Oh my God! Listen, y'all. What have we learned tonight? Okay,
Women. I don't know.
women.
We love women.
Stand up for your partner. Make sure that they're actually your partner and you're not in Delululand. And the next time your man goes to finish, pat him on the back and go, hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah, brother.
And now we all have problems. Yes, we
We
do.
all have
Thank you.
problems.
That's why we're here. All right, y'all. I'm a little speechless right now. But you know what?
Spicy
did it.
water.
Spicy water. Cheers, y'all. We did it. We made it through another episode. Officially episode 35. You guys know the spiel. Obviously, if you are over on Twitch, hi, hello, you get to be a part of this. Other than that, you'll see us on YouTube and Spotify over on Mondays. Also for YouTube, hi, some of you got a little spooked by me uploading a random gaming video. That's a new thing to come. I'm going to start finding some indie games that I will be streaming and recording. They will end up on YouTube. The podcast is still going to be prominent. It's not going anywhere, clearly. Our subreddit actually has a new story in it that I need to go and read, but I got that clarification today, so we'll probably have that next week for y'all. And with that, we will see you guys in the next episode, and I hope to see you all in the charity streams. Thank you to my beautiful Sempi wife to be here. All of her links will be linked in the links for links. You guys know that shit. And with that, bye-bye!
Bye-bye!